In the early stages of animation, we'll be receiving direction normally from a script if we're working professionally, or we might be looking at a storyboard, or we might just have a cool idea in our head of what we want to actually make if it's a personal project. What we need to consider is that when we're designing poses, we need to be able to have a certain level of variety in our work, and we'll want to create poses for the same situation, but that are different in various ways. If we have a simple brief of a character has to walk across the screen, there's many different ways that they could do this, mostly depending on the acting and the emotions that we want to show in the particular shot. So if they're walking excitedly across the screen to open a door or pick up a cookie, they're going to look in a specific way, and their body language will reflect this. Here we're using the posing to convey the emotions, actions, and feelings of the character without over-relying on dialogue or on the facial expressions of a character. If we take Kayla and we have her walking across the screen, but this time in a more depressed and hunched over stance, we'll start recognizing that the body language is conveying a completely different type of emotion. It's important that these poses are exaggerated versions of what we observe, but it's important that that exaggeration allows the body language to be very clear. If somebody is sad, we're going to make them very, very sad, so that it is absolutely clear at a glance the emotion that they're feeling. And again, this will be in relation to the acting and the choices that we want to make into our pose. Now, it's a great exercise to design a multitude of poses for a same situation. This can be to design 9 or 10 poses for different ways of walking, or 9 or 10 poses for how you could wait at a bus stop. But it's important that we choose one emotion for each one of these poses and we stick to it. As a simple rule, try to keep one emotion to one pose. Never try to mix things together, like trying to be afraid and courageous at the same time. Stick to using simple emotions at the beginning, like being angry, happy, sad, smug, and try to keep your poses and your emotions clear. So when Kayla's running across the screen scared, we're trying to get a sense of urgency inside the pose itself, and we're still using the same techniques that we've been using up until now. We can also look at these 3 different poses by the design of their line of action. And the line of action is very much defining the gesture in a very simple way. If we're looking at the excited pose, we can see that the line of action is a C-type shape curved, and that it is pointing in the direction in which C is moving. Everything is fluid and kind of like upbeat. And if we compare that to the sad walk, we'll see that we have a reversed S-shape type of line of action going through the body. She squashes down a little bit, she's a lot less confident, and even her eye line is looking downwards as well. And for the final pose, we can see that the line of action is also a C shape, but it's much more in a diagonal. The feet almost look like they're moving faster than the rest of her body, and that again helps sell this idea of being scared and having a great sense of urgency. Now, finally, it's important to point out that the body language is really working by itself. Even though we have the face as well in these poses and the emotions match the actual expression, we can kind of see that if we hide the face away, the emotion is still clear in the body language. It's important to realize that the poses, the face, even the position of the fingers all add to creating an expressive pose. And we should use the body language and the face together as 2 tools that allow us to better tell the expression and the emotion in these poses.